What are you trying to do, Haruka? Haruka gave Naruto a big smile and replied, I'm trying to get the leaf an inch of my forehead and spin it. Naruto gave her a questioning look. Spin it? What happened to getting it stuck on your forehead? Haruka gave him a ridiculous look. Are you crazy? That's like fourth year stuff. This is supposed to be an easier one. Well, the standards at the academy have sure dropped. I learned that when I was like 7, replied Naruto. Brother, I don't have time for your ancient history. Are you going to help me or not? Asked Haruka, a little irritated. Naruto pinched Haruka's nose. I'm not even that old, Haruka. I'm like 7 years older than you. Haruka knocked Naruto's hand away and stood up. She then made some dramatic hand motions. But that's a lot of years, therefore you are old, big brother. Naruto sighed. So, what exactly do you need help on? Haruka responded, Oh yeah, well I'm having trouble spinning the leaf. Show me, asked Naruto. Then Haruka proceeded to sit back down and put the leaf on her forehead. Naruto watched as she got it an inch of her forehead, then tempted to spin it from right to the leaf, just got very unbalanced and fell off. Naruto then spoke, You're doing 2 things wrong, Haruka. The first is that, when you spin it you're going to quickly calm down and allow the chakra to take its flow. As for the second, you're spinning it the wrong way. Haruka gave her brother a questioning look. The wrong way? I didn't know there was a right and wrong way to spin a leaf. Naruto chuckled. I don't mean it like that. It's just that every person's chakra system is set in 2 ways. There are the ones in which their chakra move from right to left, while the others' chakra move from left to right, which in your case is probably left to right. Wow, that's so cool. How did you know? Asked Haruka. Naruto laughed a little while he rubbed the back of his head. A old lady lectured me about it actually. You might know her as the great Lady Tsunade. Haruka's eyes went wide. You know the Lady Tsunade? Yeah, she like a grandmother to me, but that's a story for another time. Why don't you try it again? Asked Naruto. Haruka nodded and once again tried the exercise. Naruto watched as she managed to spin it halfway when it failed. Haruka pouted, I can't get this, I've been at it for hours. Naruto kneeled down to Haruka's eye level. Haruka, if you really want to master something you can never give up, got it? Haruka sighed, and she nodded. I know, brother, but it's so frustrating. Naruto then gave her a small smile. He then put his hand into his pocket, pulling out a piece of candy. Unwrapping it, he kept the wrapper and gave the piece of candy to Haruka. Haruka smiled and ate the candy. Delicious. Naruto pinched Haruka's nose. Pay attention, this is your last hint. Naruto grabbed the edge of the wrapper and begun to slowly twist it. The trick to the technique is to first balance the chakra in the middle. Naruto pointed to the middle of the opening. Then you want to spin it, not from the edges but the middle. Naruto then begun to twist the middle of the wrapper. So, when you're spinning the leaf, image yourself twisting this wrapper. Flashback and no jutsus. So focus the chakra in the middle. Naruto then begun to focus a good portion of his chakra on the bottle itself. Though the trick is to twist it from the middle, not the edges. Naruto then imagined opening the little vortex at the middle of the bottle, then you twist it like a candy wrapper. Naruto, having figured out the technique, once again whispered, Kamui. Naruto then watched as the little vortex opened and begun to suck in the bottle. Naruto had done it. He warped away the hero's water from Suien's grasp. Suien was shocked when he watched the portal open. What's going on? It's like it's sucking it in. What have you done? Give me back the hero's water, shouted Suien as he released more chakra. Naruto caught his breath, and then he let out a loud laugh. There's nothing you can do about it now. It's probably destroyed, and your body will slowly deteriorate. You see, Suien, you took too much too quickly. That's why the hero's water was forbidden in the first place. It's over. Suien yelled in rage. I kill you and your friends first. Then Suien rushed towards Naruto, but before he could land a blow, an ink tiger appeared out of nowhere. Grabbing both Naruto and Fuit dodged the blow. Then a second tempted to battle Suien, which Suien easily was able to destroy. Naruto and Fu were suddenly let go in front of a smiling Sai. It seems you were in quite a bind, Whiskers. Then 5 Umbu appeared behind him. Thank you for helping us in our time of need. We will take care of the rest. Then the Umbu proceeded to take care of Suien. Suien was able to hold his own for a while, but as soon as the hero's water effects wore off, Umbu was able to easily bind him down and arrest him. Then Yakumo and Shibuki walked up to Naruto, Fu, and Sai. Shibuki placed his hand on Naruto's shoulder and spoke. Thank you, Naruto, Yakumo, and Fu. Fu was a bit taken back that someone else thanked her, but then she smiled. You shouldn't thank me. I'm a shinobi of this village too. You're welcome, Shibuki, though we could really use some place to rest, replied Yakumo as she sat down very exhausted. Naruto hadn't responded, but he then turned around and gave them a smile. Then he fell onto the ground. The last thing Naruto heard before he slipped into unconscious was Fu screaming his name. Hospital room. Naruto woke suddenly. He exploded from the bed. Looking around frantically, he was trying to figure out where he was. Then he came face to face with Yamato. Sensei, when did you get here? Asked Naruto. Yamato looked Naruto into the eye. I'm sorry, Naruto, I left you in such a bind. I got here not too soon after you collapsed from minor chakra exhaustion, and for using it chakra too quickly. It's strange actually. The doctors said they've never seen anything like it. Would you mind to explain? Naruto looked away. It's happened sometimes when I use a ninjutsu with a jinjutsu. As well, I was using my Sharingan too much. I'm surprised I'm not suffering from severe chakra exhaustion. Yamato sighed. Naruto, even though what happened shouldn't have happened, I'm proud of you. Naruto gave him a curious look. Why should you be proud? Yamato chuckled. You haven't realized? You're practically a hero here. I've gotten the details from Yakumo, and I must say I'm impressed. You showed great leadership, skills, and excellent tactics. Did Yakumo tell you? Asked Naruto with a serious tone. Yamato raised an eyebrow. Tell me what? Naruto, seeing that Yamato didn't know, was relieved. It's nothing important. I was just wondering if she told you about Taki's Jinchuriki. Yamato's eyes went wide. You know who it is? It's such a well-kept secret. Naruto looked at the door, making sure it was closed. Yeah, but I ain't telling you here. Maybe when we leave in the morning and get to Konoha. Yamato nodded. Fine, but Naruto, I need to tell you something. Naruto gave him a questioning look. What? We aren't returning to Konoha, said Yamato. Naruto suddenly asked, why not? We've been assigned another mission. We're going to back up Team 7 on their mission, which is an escort/guard mission. The mission will probably take about 3 weeks. We're going to meet up with them tomorrow at noon at the border of the Land of Waves. Explained Yamato. Yakumo and Sai have already been informed and are resting. So rest up as best as you can, because we're leaving tomorrow at dawn. I'm sorry about not allowing you to rest up completely, but once we get to Wave, I'll make sure you get plenty. We won't all be needed. It's just as precaution. So I doubt we will run into anything. Though if you feel you can't handle it. Naruto protested. It's fine, Sensei. Though I would like to go back and rest, I really don't want to get stuck with my mother all day, especially if she finds out the state I'm in. Yamato suddenly deadpanned, remembering he promised nothing would happen to Naruto. Maybe you're right. Naruto nodded at his sensei and went back to sleep. Yamato, having seen his student go back to sleep, left the room to go to his own room. Once Yamato left the room, Naruto cursed out loud, and he rubbed his eyes. I really wanted to visit the Uchiha Shrine. As well, I told Haruka I would be back by today, though it would look suspicious if I was in a rush to be home. Naruto sighed and went back to sleep. 30 minutes before Naruto leaves Taki. Naruto was gathering the last of his stuff before he met up with his team at the entrance of the hospital. As Naruto put away his last scroll into his bag, he put it on. Though suddenly, he felt someone jump through the window. Pulling a kunai, he proceeded to attack the intruder. Pinning the intruder into the wall, he noticed he was staring into orange eyes. Taking a better look, he noticed it was Fu. Fu, I'm sorry, apologized Naruto. Fu just giggled. It's okay, Naruto, I just wanted to say goodbye, and thank you. Naruto raised his eyebrow. Though why did you want to do it in private? Fu gave him a smile. I wanted to thank you for the confidence, Naruto. In fact, after everyone heard about me helping defend the village, some of the villagers actually treated me nicer. Even though it isn't enough, it's a start, and it made me realize that I can change my own destiny. So thank you. Fu engulfed Naruto and hugged, leaving him blushing. You're welcome, Fu. That's what friends are for. Fu gave him a smile and handed him a piece of paper. That's right, I wanted to give you my address, so we could maybe write, since you were my first friend. Naruto gave her a goofy smile. Of course, Fu, though you didn't have to sneak up here to tell me this. Is it maybe that Fu is a bit shy? Fu gave him a sweet smile, and then she gave him a kiss. It wasn't a long one, but just a quick peck on the lips. I wanted to thank you for taking that blow for me yesterday by Naruto, spoke Fu, as she jumped out the window, leaving behind a speechless Naruto. Naruto was blushing like crazy when suddenly his door flung open, revealing a laughing Team 11. What are you doing? Yelled Naruto, trying to hide his blush. Yamato, between laughs, answered, Yakumo saw someone jump through your window, and we came to investigate. Imagine us when we came upon such a romantic scene. Wow, Naruto, I didn't know you had the hots for the girl. I guess I should have seen it coming, since you've been with her ever since we entered the village. Laughed Yakumo. Though it was Sai who really irritated Naruto. Wow. Whiskers, you really surprised me there. I thought for a moment that you played for the other team. Though it's still the same, when the girl figures out you have such a small package. This caused the team to laugh even harder. Naruto just left the room blushing even harder from before. In fact, he started to even look like a tomato. Whatever, let's go. With that, Team 11 walked out of the room with some of them laughing, and the other in complete embarrassment. Hidden Leaf Village, Haruka Uchiha. It was early morning right before the academy started. Haruka was walking down the street really worried. I haven't seen Big Brother Naruto since he left for his mission. He said he would return yesterday, but did something happen to him? No, Big Brother Naruto is too strong, Haruka suddenly gasped. What if he ran into Itachi? Haruka felt like crying. She didn't want to lose her brother Naruto. He was the only person that cared about her. The only person that would buy her what she wanted, took her to the park, played with her, and even read her favorite stories for her. Haruka was walking down the street, not knowing what to do. Maybe if I ask Iruka-sensei? No, he wouldn't know about another ninja's missions. And big cousin Sasuke is out on a mission for 3 weeks. Wait, why don't I ask the tomato lady? Haruka stopped walking, though I don't know where she lives. In fact, Naruto has never taken me to his house. I wonder why? Haruka looked around until her gaze stopped on the Hokage's monument. That's it, I'll just go to old man Hokage, Big Brother spoke of. Naruto said he was like really nice, and to go to him for help if I needed it. Though what about the Yondaime? I heard he is the current Hokage though. Haruka debated with going to the Sandaime or the Yondaime. I guess the Yondaime would probably overlook all the missions, since he is in charge. Though Big Brother never talks about him, I wonder why? I heard he's a great guy. In fact, Big Brother has a lot of secrets. Haruka, having made her decision, raced to the Hokage Tower to get some answers. Hokage Tower. Haruka walked into the tower. When she walked in, she was surprised to see that there wasn't a lot of people. All she saw was the Hokage's secretary furiously writing away. Walking up to her, Haruka spoke. Can I see the Hokage? The secretary looked down at the girl and asked, And why would you need to do that, sweetie? Haruka ran through her hair nervously. Well, my big brother was sent on a mission 2 days ago, and he was supposed to be back. I haven't seen him, and he always visits me. So, I got a bit worried. The secretary pitied the little girl. The life of a ninja was a tough one, and it was always sad to see family members' grief. I don't really handle mission reports, but you're actually in luck. The Hokage right now is free, and you can probably go ask him. Though don't tell anyone else I let you in without an appointment. Okay. Haruka gave the girl a big smile and gave her a good guy pose. It's a promise, thank you, nice lady. Then Haruka dashed down the hall to the Hokage office. The lady chuckled at the girl's antics. What a cheerful little girl. Hokage's office. Minato was having a terrible morning. He had just got word from Yamato about Team 11's little problem in Taki. He was glad Naruto was safe, but he felt awful for putting him in such a position. This was supposed to be a simple escort mission, and had he not given Yamato the extra mission, none of it would have happened. Minato wanted Yamato to return immediately, but he explained in his letter it would be better to have Naruto rest in Wave. Since they aren't really needed, just him for precaution. I guess it would be better to have Naruto rest in Wave. Since, if he did come back, Tsunade and Kushina wouldn't let him out of their sight for weeks. Wait until Kushina finds out about this. Minato rubbed his temples. As well, it might be great opportunity for Mito and Naruto to maybe bond a little. Though for now he was stuck with filling out the paperwork on his desk. Minato really hated all this paperwork, though this was life of a Kage. You just have to deal with it. He would have killed for a distraction, and his prayers were answered. He suddenly heard a loud knock on his door. Come in. Minato was surprised to see a girl probably no older than 7 walk into his room. He watched as the girl crossed the room, and sat down in one of the chairs. "Are you the yondaime?" asked the girl. Minato knew this girl looked familiar, but he couldn't place his finger on it. "Yes, I am. Now that you know who I am, could you tell me who you are?" "I'm Haruka Uchiha, and was wondering if you could tell me if my brother was okay. He went on a mission 2 days ago, and he hasn't returned," replied Haruka. "Uchiha, of course," Minato raised an eyebrow. "Brother? I didn't know that any of the current shinobi Uchiha we have are that close to the little ones. The only one I can think of is Sasuke, but he's leaving today. As well, the other two aren't even on a mission." "I'm sorry, but we don't have any Uchiha on mission right now. The only one is Sasuke, but he just left an hour ago," replied Minato. Haruka shook her head. "He's not an Uchiha, but I can't remember his last name. I just know that his mommy looks like a tomato." Minato nearly fell to the ground. "Is she talking about Kushina? Oh boy, this can't be good." Sweetie, are you talking about Kushina Namikaze?" asked Minato. Haruka's eyes lit up. "Yeah, how did you now?" "Well, my brother Naruto's last name isn't Namikaze, I think it's like Uzumaki." Finished Minato, a bit shocked at this new information. Haruka was marveled by Minato. "Wow, Mr. Blondaime, you sure are good. Well, now that you know my brother, can you tell me where he is?" Minato ignored the, "Only if you tell me about how you Naruto met, okay?" "Okay, I met Big Brother Naruto when I was like 5, after the Uchiha funeral. Ever since he takes care of me and plays with me. He even said he would teach me his cool jutsus one day. So now that I answered your question, can you answer mine?" asked Haruka. Minato smiled at the information. "I'm glad Naruto has found someone to call sister. I just wish it would have been with Mito." "That's great to hear. It's good to know my son looks after the next generation," replied Minato. Haruka gasped. "You're Naruto's father?" Minato was a bit taken back. "You didn't know?" "Well, he hardly talks about his family except his mommy. I've met her a few times, but she's kind of scary, especially when I call her Tomato Lady," replied Haruka as she played with her hair. Minato's sweat dropped. How is she still alive? "You want to know about Naruto, right?" asked Minato. Haruka nodded furiously. "Yes, are you going to tell me? Or do I have to get the scary Tomato Lady?" Minato's eyes went wide, and he waved his hands in the air. "Of course not. This girl really knows how to blackmail," thought Minato as a sweat drop appeared on his forehead, just like Naruto. "Your brother's team was assigned another mission on the fly. They're supposed to help out Sasuke's team. So, he'll probably be gone for a couple weeks. I'm sorry." Haruka put her head down. I really wanted to see Big Brother Naruto." Minato sighed. "If you need anything, you could come to me, you know. I am Naruto's dad." Haruka's face lit up. "That's right, so could you help me with my schoolwork after school?" Minato gave her a smile. "Sure. If you want, you can have dinner with me and Kushina, since it will probably be lonely without Naruto or Mito." Haruka gave him a questioning look. "Mito?" Minato replied, "Oh, you don't know her. Well, she's on Sasuke's team and is Naruto's twin." Haruka gasped. "Naruto has a twin? And she's his sister?" 10 a.m. Naruto's team. Team 11 were racing through the tree lines. Yamato was taking point, since he was the only one who knew how to get to wave. As they ran to the meeting point, Naruto's breath got really shallow, so tired. Suddenly Naruto stopped in mid-jump and fell to the ground. Yakumo, who was behind him, shouted to their sensei, "Yamato-sensei." Yamato turned around and saw Naruto falling. Forming one-hand sign, he thrust his arm and a wooden stake appeared. The stake then extended and broke into more stakes, catching Naruto. Yamato jumped onto a tree branch and used it to catapult himself back. Reaching Naruto, he began to talk. "Naruto, are you alright?" Naruto was breathing heavy. "I didn't know. I'm just really tired." Yakumo watched Naruto from the side. "Is this the effect of the Mangekyo Sharingan? Maybe I should tell sensei." Naruto, having read her thoughts, grabbed her arm. "I'm fine, Yakumo. I'm just really tired." Sai then spoke up. "Sensei, if Naruto is unable to continue, I think we should head back to the village. We wouldn't just be putting the mission at risk, but also Naruto." Yamato was going to speak, but Naruto beat him to it. "Sai, this mission doesn't really need us. It's probably more for Yamato-sensei. The fact that we were sent for backup was in case Kakashi's team encountered any missing Nin. If that was to happen, then it would be Yamato-sensei who would help, not us Genin. That's the whole point of the backup." Yamato was surprised at Naruto's answer. So perspective at such an age, I'm surprised he hadn't graduated earlier. So, this mission is actually a cover-up for Yamato? Then what about us? Aren't we supposed to get some missions? Asked Yakumo. Yamato sighed. I didn't want to tell you, but it's true. These missions are just to help ease you into the ninja world. That's why you are assigned Jounin leaders. They're supposed to teach you, and also keep you safe on missions. Sai then spoke up. Don't take it personal, Yakumo. I know you want to do your own things. But sometimes you gotta learn to walk before you run. Look what happened in our last mission. If it hadn't been for Naruto, then things would have turned out a little different. Yakumo nodded at Sai's response. I guess you're right. Yamato grabbed Naruto and put him on his back. Let's go. Then once again Team 11 headed out to the meeting point. Team 7 and Tazuna. Team 7 was walking with Tazuna in the middle of the forest. Why can't we go faster? Asked Mito. Kakashi answered her question. Tazuna isn't as fast as us, Mito. So, we have to walk at his pace. What an idiotic question, retorted Sasuke. What did you say? Angrily asked Mito. Sakura then decided to butt in. Mito, Sasuke's right, it was kind of a dumb question, but could you two stop arguing for at least a few minutes? Sakura's response shocked the rest of Team 7. Then Kakashi asked, Are you alright, Sakura? Sakura gave them a confused look. What do you mean, sensei? Though Mito beat Kakashi, you told your precious Sasuke to shut up. Are you sure you're not fine? Sakura blushed and looked away. So what? And I didn't tell Sasuke to shut up. I just asked him to quiet down. Kakashi was cheering inside. Finally, she stopped being such a fangirl. So, you're finally taking this serious? That's great to hear, Sakura. Spoke Sasuke suddenly. Of course, why is it so hard to believe? Asked Sakura, a bit irritated. Never mind, replied Mito as she begun walking again. Team 7 suddenly passed a giant tree which casted a huge shadow. In that shadow was a small puddle. Sasuke and Mito were breathing hard, very hard. What was supposed to be a simple C-rank escort mission quickly turned into a B rank. Yet, that B rank was still a simple pair of Chunin, which Team 7 quickly handled. The only one who had a bit trouble was Sakura, but she didn't have the same skill as Mito and Sasuke. Though that B rank quickly turned into a nightmare. Not too soon after defeating the Chunin, they were forced to skip the meeting point with Team 11. Kakashi believed it would be easier to defend if they reached wave first. That proved to be a vital mistake because they were ambushed by no other than Zabuza Momochi, one of the 7 legendary swordsmen of the mist. Kakashi was able to hold his own for a while until he was caught in his water prison, leaving the rest of the team to fight off Zabuza's water clone. Though as hard as Mito and Sasuke tried, they just couldn't get past this clone. As Sasuke, I think it would be better if we retreated, spoke Mito as she tried to catch her breath. Though Sasuke shook his head, that would be illogical because then he would just kill Kakashi and hunt us down later. We have to free Kakashi-sensei. Mito sighed. I guess you're right, but none of our jutsus are getting to him, and this is just the clone. I know though if we target the real body maybe we might have a chance, replied Sasuke as he went through some hand seals, distract the clone. Mito nodded and she also went through some hand seals, water release, water gun jutsu. Mito then shot basketball-sized water bullets from her mouth. Zabuza laughed, haha, pathetic water release. Water wall jutsu, a thick wall of water erupted from his feet, blocking the barrage of bullets. If you're going to defeat me, you're going to have to use something else than water. I hail from the village hidden of the mist. There's no way I would lose at my own game, bragged Zabuza. Suddenly Zabuza watched as Sasuke jumped up in the air, fire release, fireball jutsu. A large fireball erupted from Sasuke's mouth and went flying towards Zabuza. Though the fireball wasn't aimed at the clone, but Zabuza himself. Zabuza smirked. He finally decided to target my own body. Then he formed one-handed seal, hidden mist jutsu. Sasuke watched amazed as Zabuza targeted the mist on the fireball, reducing it the size of a large coconut. Zabuza then swiped his sword across the fireball, canceling out the jutsu. Hee, it was nice playing with you guys, but I'll finish this up. Zabuza then grabbed his large sword and threw it to Sasuke, who was still in the air. Sasuke couldn't believe it. He was inches off the water, and there was nothing he could do. He watched helplessly as the blade came closer and closer. Sasuke shouted Sakura as she was still watching over Tazuna. Then suddenly a wooden dome erupted in front of Sasuke. The sword embedded itself into the wooden dome. Sasuke landed into the water. Mokutan? It can't be unless it's Naruto's team. Team 11. We need to hurry, guys, shouted Yamato as he raced through the treelines. Sensei, what are we doing? Weren't we supposed to meet up at the border? Why did you make a boat and have us go across? Asked Yakumo. Yes, I'm also curious, asked Sai as he passed a few trees. Naruto didn't say anything. He knew something was up. He was trying to save up as much chakra as he could. Something is very wrong. You guys don't know this, but I was in Yinbu before this. When I first entered Yinbu, I was put under Kakashi Hitaki, the sensei of Team 7, replied Yamato. Though that doesn't explain why we're not waiting at the meeting point, replied Sai. Yamato sighed. I'm not supposed to tell you this, but Kakashi had a special code in our team. One of those codes was that if mission situation had changed or the meeting point was compromised, we would skip point A and go to point B. Naruto had finally spoke up. That means that something went wrong, and the most likely scenario is that they were attacked. Therefore, the best strategy would be to get to point B or get the client to safety as soon as possible. In this case, it would be getting the bridge builder to his home. Why? Well, it's an unexpected move, which would usually catch the enemy off guard. As well, it would be easier to defend in a safe location than the middle of the road. Sharp as always, Naruto. Yes, since our job is to back them up, we should get there as soon as possible. Finished Yamato. Team 11 ran for a few more meters when they encountered an odd mist. Synthesis mist, muttered Sai. I know it's odd very. A mist usually disappears by noon, and it's way past noon. As well, it's too thick, and I can also sense the chakra in it, stated Yamato, and then took his attention to Naruto. Hold on. Then Yamato jumped into the clearing. Naruto watched from his sensei's back as they jumped from the clearing. He watched in slow motion as a giant blade was yards away from Sasuke. Naruto's Sharingan suddenly changed into the Mangekyo. Though before he could do anything, don't worry, Naruto would release, would locking wall. Naruto watched in relief as a domed wall appeared in front of Sasuke, catching the blade. Naruto deactivating the Mangekyo, just using the regular Sharingan. Jumping off Yamato's back, he jumped to his side. He was quickly followed by Sai and Yakumo. Sensei, what's the plan? Asked Sai as he pulled out his Tanto. Yakumo also pulled out her kunai. I'll take care of Zabuza and try to free Kakashi, while you two will gather up Team 7, and if necessary take out the water clone, explained Yamato. Naruto looked up confused. You two? Yes, Naruto, I want you to stay on the sides. You will only intervene if absolutely necessary. You got it, said Yamato with a serious face. Naruto growled, fine. He then watched as they all raced off to do what was needed to do. Sai ran off to help Mito, while Yakumo ran off to get Sasuke. Naruto looked around and saw Sakura on the sides with the client. So, they had one stay behind in case he tried to do anything else. I should probably go there. It will give me a better view of the battle. Naruto raced to Sakura and Tazuna. Are you all right? Sakura looked worried, while Tazuna was downright scared. Yes, but what happened to Sasuke? Is he all right? Naruto also got in a defensive position with Sakura. He's all right. Yamato-sensei set up a defensive dome in front of him to catch the blade. Yakumo went to go get him, while Sai gathered up Mito. Since you've been on the sides, I'm hoping you could tell me what's going on. It was Tazuna who spoke up. We were attacked by a man that had this huge blade. I think Kakashi called him the Demon of the Mist. Naruto's eyes went wide. Zabuza Momochi, one of the 7 legendary swordsmen of the mist. This is bad. Though before Naruto could ask anything else, he suddenly saw the water clone come flying at him. Watch out. Then Naruto pulled out a kunai and tried his best to stop the blade. So he decided to send the clone to finish the job. Where's Yakumo and Sai? Sakura grabbed Tazuna and started to back away. Naruto watched as the kunai broke and Zabuza's blade was coming down on him. If I use that jutsu, I'll be put in an even worse state than yesterday. Naruto's eyes warped into the 8-rounded star. Though if I don't, I'll die. Kimui. Sakura watched in horror as the blade slowly came down on Naruto. Then suddenly, with her own very own eyes, she watched the blade slowly distort, and it disappeared. Zabuza's clone, Tazuna, and Sakura were all left in shock. What was that? Naruto jumped back to where Sakura was and fell to his knees. SND to get the CLLiant out of her, gasped Naruto. Sakura was in shock. She didn't know what to do. Kakashi had told her to never abandon a comrade, but Naruto had just told her to flee. The very someone kid that she thought would never become a good ninja. The very same one that stopped the clone's attack and saved her life. Naruto fell to his side and watched as the clone got closer. Can't move my body. I'm so tired. That was impressive. I don't know what you did to my blade, but I don't need it to kill you in your pitiful state, spoke the clone. Then the clone dispersed into a water, and Mito was shown running through it with a blue sphere in her hand. Naruto was lying on the ground, thanking Kami that they had been saved. Even if he was just saved by his sister, he wasn't in the condition to complain. Mito ran to her brother's side. Naruto, are you all right? I'm not gonna die, but I'm really exhausted, croaked Naruto as he lifted his head. Mito, seeing her brother was okay for the moment, turned her attention to Sakura. What were you doing? Were you just gonna let him die? I'm sorry, I just froze, apologized Sakura. Mito was gonna protest. When Naruto spoke up, Mito stopped blaming her. We're only rookie genin. We're not expected to be able to stand against A-rank missing Nin, even if it's only an enemy clone. Mito sighed. I guess you're right. Let me help you up. Mito then grabbed Naruto and put his arm over her neck, helping him walk. Then Sai appeared. Naruto, I'm sorry, it's just Mito got ahead of me, and I lost track of her. Sasuke and Yakumo also appeared. Are you guys alright? Naruto, you weren't supposed to push yourself, lectured Yakumo. Yakumo, you can't blame him that the clone attacked him. If he wanted to live, he had to use his best jutsus, retorted Sasuke. As well, what's wrong with you? I thought you had like a ton of chakra. What could possibly put you into this state? He battled a Jounin yesterday and hasn't fully recovered. We didn't expect to encounter any high-level shinobi, so we decided to accept the mission, responded Sai. Then he gave Tazuna a questioning look, though it seems this mission is at least A rank. Tazuna sweated a little. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put anyone in danger. We know that already, said Mito. So what do we do now? We'll wait for Kakashi and Yamato-sensei to take care of Zabuza, said Naruto as he was trying his best to walk. Then suddenly he felt pain in his eyes. I overused the Mangekyo too much, so this is what you meant by a double-edged sword, Shursui. Then Naruto collapsed from the pain. Naruto yelled Yakumo as he caught him. Sasuke, help us. Sasuke nodded, and he helped by putting Naruto over his shoulder. What happened to him? Sakura finally spoke up. I don't know, he used some weird jutsu to make the clone's blade disappear. Disappear? Asked Mito, confused. What do you mean disappear? Yakumo was able to guess what jutsu Naruto had used. He used the Mangekyo. What was he thinking? I need to come up with something. It was a jinjutsu, spoke out Yakumo. A jinjutsu? Questioned Sasuke. I've never seen Naruto use a jinjutsu, which makes things disappear. Yemi neither, said Sai, a bit suspicious himself. I don't think he made the sword disappear. He just stopped the clone from using it, said Yakumo. What do you mean? Asked Mito. Yakumo was trying her best on remembering about everything she knew about a clone. I'm not sure, but I think he used a jinjutsu to stop the flow of chakra in the clone. Since it's only a clone, so is the blade. Therefore, all he needed to do was stop the flow, to stop the blade from existing. Sai seemed to accept the response. That sounds like something Naruto would do. As well, he must have used a very high-level jinjutsu for that to occur. That probably explains the state he's in. Sasuke also seemed to buy Yakumo's answer. That's actually possible. If only I would have thought of that earlier, though. I don't have the jinjutsu prowess as Naruto. Just like his taijutsu isn't the best. That's why he didn't try to fight it. Sakura was amazed. So, that was only a jinjutsu? It seems so, spoke Mito as she looked over to where their senseis should have been battling. Yamato, Kakashi, and Zabuza. Yamato raced across the small lake that Zabuza had created. As he raced across, he finally came across Kakashi stuck in Zabuza's water release, water prison jutsu. It seems backup has arrived, Kakashi, replied Zabuza, then pulled out some kunai and threw them at Yamato, though it will be too late because the bridge builder is dead. Yamato and Kakashi both turned around to see Naruto on the floor and Zabuza's clone slowly walking towards them. They both shouted, Naruto/Sakura. Then suddenly the clone burst into water, and they watched as Mito burst through the clone with her Rasengan. "That jutsu it can't be?" asked Zabuza as his eyes gotten wide. Yamato, having seen the danger past, he flashed through some hand seals, water release, tearing torrent. Then Yamato's hand exploded with water, which went flying towards Zabuza. Zabuza, not taking any chances, jumped away and released the water prison. "I guess I have to take care of both of you first." Water release. Water Dragon Bullet Jutsu. An enormous water dragon erupted from the small lake and rushed towards Yamato. Yamato then used Earth Style Wall, to block the upcoming water dragon, and water gushed all over the place. Kakashi, having recovered, jumped to Yamato's side. "Thanks, I underestimated, but this time it will be much different," said Kakashi as he stood back up. "Kakashi, your copycat skills won't work on me," retorted Zabuza as he retrieved his sword. "As well, it doesn't matter how many you bring with you, I'll take them all out." Hidden Mist Jutsu. Then the mist surrounding them thickened a lot. Yamato and Kakashi went into a two-man manji formation. "What's the plan, senpai?" "We wait," replied Kakashi as he looked around with his Sharingan. Yamato nodded, and the both stood in the mist, complete silence. Then suddenly Yamato flashed through a hand seal and formed a wood shield in his right hand. Taking the shield, he positioned it above his head to block the swipe form. Zabuza's grunted as he tried his best to block the blade with one hand. His other hand reached for his ninja pouch. Kakashi, seeing the situation that Yamato was in, he attempted to swipe at Zabuza. Zabuza, having seen Kakashi coming towards him, pulled back his sword. Blocking Kakashi's kunai, he kicked Yamato away. After kicking Yamato away, he started fighting with Kakashi again. Kakashi and Zabuza engaged in a short fight of Kenjutsu. Zabuza's bigger blade allowed him to take the advantage. He swung the blade across Kakashi's face, but he ducked down and weaved some hand signs. Earth release. Earth Style Wall. An earth wall erupted from the ground, separating Zabuza and Kakashi. Zabuza turned around, noticing a jet of water coming at him. "I see he intended to corner me," while the other attacked. Zabuza jumped straight up, dodging the jet of water. As he was in midair, a barrage of kunai was thrown at him. He used his blade to knock all the kunai away, and he jumped back into the mist. "Not bad though, I control the battlefield here," mocked Zabuza's voice as it rang throughout the mist. Kakashi and Yamato regrouped, going back to the manji formation. "Did you get him?" asked Kakashi. Yamato nodded. "Do it." Yamato formed a few hand seals. Would release. Cage of the Beast. They heard a loud grunt, and the mist slowly started to disappear. As the mist cleared, Kakashi and Yamato both saw Zabuza tied to the ground. His arms were tied together, while his feet were stuck to the ground, where two wooden stakes tied them down. "How?" Yamato slowly walked over to him. "When you first attacked us in the mist, when I used my right hand to block your strike, I used my left hand to place a special seed on you. This seed allowed me to cast a jutsu on you. You can see the results." "It's over, Zabuza." Then Kakashi's hand exploded into lighting. "Why don't I show you one of my original techniques?" Zabuza's eyes widened in fear. Then suddenly his face was wiped of emotions. His body jerked forward. Having had his neck exposed, Yamato and Kakashi saw two needles embedded into his neck. Then a masked ANBU hunter Nin appeared. "Thank you for taking him down. I've been hunting him for a while, and I have finally had a chance to kill him," replied the masked ANBU. Yamato looked at him suspiciously. "Let me make sure." Walking over to Zabuza, he placed his fingers on his wrist, checking for any type of pulse. "It seems you really got him." Yamato released his jutsu. The masked ANBU grabbed Zabuza. "I'll be taking his body. His body holds too many secrets from our village." Then he disappeared. "That was strange," spoke Yamato. "Yes, but we need to get back to the team," replied Kakashi as he started walking back. Then suddenly he fell to the ground. Kakashi yelled Yamato as checked on him. It seems he's knocked out from overusing the Sharingan. Yamato grabbed Kakashi and threw him onto his shoulders. He then began walking toward the rest of the genin. As approached them, he saw how tired they all looked. Then Sakura spoke up. "Is Kakashi all right?" "Yes, but he's tired from overusing the Sharingan," replied Yamato. "By the way, could I get all your names?" Mito Namikaze spoke. Mito as she looked at her sensei, worried. Sasuke didn't show any emotion besides the very tired look he had. "Sasuke Uchiha." "So him too?" Huh, sensei, said Yakumo as she looked over at Kakashi and hadn't noticed Naruto until Yakumo brought him up. So, it seems Naruto hasn't fully recovered either. He then turned his attention to Tazuna. Tazuna? Tazuna nodded. Yes, the name's Tazuna. As for Kakashi and the kid, we should get them to our house. They can rest there. All right, let's get going, spoke Yamato as they started to walk towards the bridge builder's house. Kushina and Haruka back in the leaf. Haruka was sitting inside the Hokage's kitchen. She was furiously writing away at her homework as Kushina was washing some dishes from the dinner they had. As Kushina looked over at the girl, I see why Naruto took such a liking toward the girl. She's so energetic and innocent. Just like he was, Kushina looked at the plate she was washing and noticed a strange spiral on it. Washing it away, she suddenly felt like something was wrong. It's probably just my nerves. Hey Lady Tomato, can you help me with number 18? Asked Haruka as she annoyingly tapped her pencil. Kushina sighed as a large tick mark appeared on her forehead. Can you stop calling me a tomato? Haruka gave her a curious look. Why? The blonde dame didn't seem to mind it earlier. Kushina laughed out loud. Blonde dame? Haha, is that what you call Minato? Haruka smiled and nodded. Yes, since he's a blonde, and the yandere. It's easier to remember. Kushina then brought her attention back to her nickname. What did you mean by he didn't seem to mind it? Haruka shrugged her shoulders. When I went to Blonadime's office today, I didn't know your name. So, I just referred to you as the tomato lady, and he totally recognized you. Kushina cursed Minato silently, promising to ask him about it later. So why are you calling me Lady Tomato now? Well, Big Brother told me always to respect your leaders. You're the Hokage's wife, so it would be disrespectful to just call you Tomato Lady. Kushina's sweat dropped. So, it's okay to call me Lady Tomato? Haruka smiled. You're not as dumb as you look. Kushina crossed her arms. I guess you really don't need my help then. Haruka furiously waved her hands in the air. I'm just kidding, I really need help. Kushina smiled. I can't say no to you. You're so adorable, let's look at number 18. Haruka pouted for a second, but she then accepted the help. Kushina took a look at number 18 and noticed it was based on history. Great, my worst subject. Kushina read the problem and was glad it was questioned over the Leafs alliance. Who does Konoha currently have an alliance with? A. Kumo. B. Iwac. Kiri. D. Suna. Can you at least cross some out? Haruka looked at the paper, and she looked back at Kushina. I know IW, it can't be it because Big Brother told me they really didn't like the fourth. As for Kumo, Big Brother told me they've tried countless of times to steal bloodlines from us, such as the Byakugan, and you. Kushina flinched. How did you know that, Haruka? Haruka answered. Big Brother told me that it was one of his classmates. Kushina shook her head. No, I mean about me? It isn't really common knowledge, and it happened a long time ago. Haruka answered again. Naruto told me about it a while ago because he told me to never trust them. When I asked why, he told me about what happened to you. Kushina was a bit curious now. Naruto seems to tell her a lot. Ugh, yelled Haruka as she pulled her hair a little, bringing Kushina's attention back to her. Why do we have to learn so much junk? I wish I had the Sharingan like Big Brother and just copy everything. Haruka, when does one normally awaken the Sharingan? Asked Kushina, a bit interested. I've always wondered, but was too afraid to ask Naruto. Haruka sighed. Usually one gets it around the age of 11. Though there is very few who awaken it early, but it's usually for bad reasons. Kushina gave a questioning look. Bad reasons? Haruka gave her a nod. I don't know much about it, but the only ones that I know who got it early were Shursui, Big Brother, and Itachi. They each awoke it through some type of deep emotion. I think Big Brother told me that Itachi got it when he first witnessed war. I think Shursui was shunned by his family for not being as talented as Itachi, then he awakened it. Kushina was curious why she didn't mention Naruto. What about Naruto? Haruka looked down to her feet. I don't know, he doesn't really like to talk about it, but he did tell me. I'm just not sure if it's true. Kushina was now raging inside to know. Come on, tell me please, Haruka. I'll buy you some ice cream. Haruka didn't look up, but what if Big Brother gets mad at me? I don't like it when he gets angry with me. Well, I don't know if it's true. Kushina was getting very impatient. Don't worry about Naruto. If he gets angry, I'll deal with him. Got it. Haruka looked up at Kushina. While everyone does seem to be scared of Eros, well, Big Brother said he would always love me. Only if you promise and we get a lot of ice cream. Then we have to take Big Brother to eat, replied Haruka as she finally looked up. Kushina smiled and nodded. All the ice cream and ramen you want. Haruka took a deep breath and started talking. Well, he told me it was similar to Shursui, though he was shunned by all the kids his age, except Shika and Choji. Kushina gave her a weird look. What do you mean by all the kids his age? Well, he told me when he was younger he played a prank on his sibling, but I never knew it was his twin sister. Anyways, his sister got back at him by telling all the kids that if they played with Naruto, she wouldn't be their friend. So many of the kids stopped playing with Big Brother and just ignored him. Kushina gasped. So, that's what he meant by having no friends his age. I can't believe I was so naive, and to believe Mito would do something like that. Though that wasn't all of it. He didn't awake it until a year later, said Haruka. Kushina couldn't believe it. What could be worse? He said he awakened them after his 9th birthday, when his parents did something bad to him, said Haruka as she looked away. This is where I think he might be lying because you're too nice. Kushina looked at her in horror. It can't be. What was it? Asked Kushina softly. Haruka didn't look back. He said that his parents, in front of all the clan leaders, announced that he wasn't fit to be heir of the Namikaze clan. Big Brother told me that's when he finally realized that no one wanted him. That's when he awoke the Sharingan. Kushina finally couldn't take it anymore. She cried, "My baby Naruto, it hurt you so much." Tazuna's house. The day after, sometime after noon, a young woman was sitting at the bedside of a young redhead. She was Tazuna's daughter, Tsunami. Tsunami had watched how the ninja had gone out and trained, leaving behind their final teammate. Tsunami looked at the poor child. This boy is too young to be put into this state. Tsunami was cleaning some bandages he had over his left arm. When she rolled up his sleeve, she couldn't help notice a tattoo on his left bicep. This boy has a tattoo? What kind of mother would allow that? Though this doesn't look like a normal tattoo, in fact it looks like a raven. As she was about to touch the tattoo, she suddenly was flung across the room. Before she could even manage a whisper, her mouth was covered by a hand, and she was staring into some bloody red eyes with 3 tomo. Who are you? Asked the boy as she let go of her mouth. I'm the bridge builder's daughter, Tsunami. Naruto's eyes widened and let her go. I'm sorry. It was just a raffle. Tsunami just waved him off. It's okay. I was just cleaning up some bandages. I'm Tsunami. What's your name? I really didn't catch it from the other ninjas. Naruto replied, My name's Naruto Uzumaki. By the way, where are we? We're at my house. You're currently staying here, but no one's home but us. The ninjas went out to do some special training, and father went to go work on the bridge, replied Tsunami. Naruto sighed. How long have I been out? Tsunami shrugged. I'm not sure, maybe a day? Naruto nodded. Thank you for your hospitality. You wouldn't mind. Then Naruto's stomach growled, and Naruto rubbed the back of his head. Tsunami smiled. I was starting to think you were a bit of a robot. So mature for such a young child. I'm glad to see there's still a bit of a childish spirit in you. Naruto laughed. I guess it comes from hanging around with my little sister so much. Tsunami got up. Follow me, I'll get you something to eat. Naruto followed behind, and they both headed downstairs. Later at dinner time, Team 11, Tazuna's family, and Team 7 minus Mito were sitting at the table. They were all enjoying their meal when Naruto spoke up. Where's Mito? So I looked over to Naruto. She's still working on the water walking exercise. She was the only one who didn't finish. Naruto was a bit baffled. Are you serious? Sasuke nodded. Yeah, she wasn't the only one, but everyone else at least had some practice in it. Yakumo spoke too. Yeah, I've already mastered it for my Jinjutsu. Sai already knew it for his drawings. What about Sakura? Asked Naruto as he looked over at the pink-haired girl. Though Kakashi answered for her, Sakura has naturally good chakra control. She had no problem mastering it. Sakura flushed at the praise. Thanks, sensei. Water walking? Questioned Tsunami. Isn't that a bit bizarre? Yamato laughed. I know it might sound a bit bizarre, but once it's explained, it's quite easy to understand. Tazuna also voiced his opinion. I could believe it. I've seen these guys do amazing things, but nothing can top what the redhead did. Naruto almost choked on his food. What are you talking about? Tazuna praised Naruto once again. How you made that water clone sword disappear. Naruto blinked and didn't know how to respond, but Yakumo spoke for him. I already told you guys he used a Jinjutsu to stop the flow of chakra in the clone, making the sword disappear since it was part of the clone. Naruto sighed. Yeah, that's it. It was a special Sharingan Jinjutsu I invented. Kakashi and Yamato gave them both a curious look. Jinjutsu? Asked Yamato. Could you possibly show me this Jinjutsu of yours? I could benefit me greatly. Asked Kakashi, a bit suspicious. Me too. You haven't showed me this Jinjutsu. Asked Sasuke. Naruto was getting a bit nervous. What to do? What to do? Well, it's not exactly my own original Jinjutsu. It's a Jinjutsu both me and Shursui created. So, it's kind of personal, replied Naruto. Sasuke was a bit disappointed, while Kakashi understood. I hear you loud and clear. It's kind of like my Chidori. Naruto didn't know the whole story, but he knew that his friend had given him the Sharingan. What allowed him to complete his jutsu? Yeah, it kind of is. Tazuna spoke up again. I don't care what it is, it was still one of the most amazing things I have seen. Naruto slurped the last of his soup and placed it down. Tsunami, that was delicious. Naruto looked around the table and watched how everyone was also enjoying the meal. Thanks, responded Tsunami. Naruto looked down at his empty bowl. So what's the scoop here? I doubt Zabuza Momochi of the Hidden Mist would kill you for no reason. The table got suddenly quiet. Then Sai spoke up. That's right. Yamato-sensei, I think we should know what we're up against. Yamato sighed, but Kakashi answered for him. Zabuza was hired as a mercenary ninja. He was hired to take out Tazuna, so Tazuna wouldn't finish building the bridge. We have already told everyone else, but Naruto Zabuza isn't dead. He managed to escape. Naruto nodded. Why would someone not want the bridge finished? Asked Yakumo. Tazuna answered this one. It's a man known as Gato. He runs a big shipping corporation. Thus, having the bridge built would put a hinder on his sale. As well, if the bridge is complete, then it would help the economy of this land. If that was to happen, Gato would lose all his power around here. That's why he's so desperate in not having the bridge complete. Hasn't anyone tried to do something? I mean, it's just one man. Asked Naruto. Tsunami spoke up. Well, the only one who ever tried to was my late husband Kaiza. She then pointed to the picture up on the wall, where everyone was able to catch a glimpse of a black spiky-haired man, who had a small X scar on his chin. He was considered a hero in these lands. He tried to do something against Gato, but he was publicly executed. There was a few gasps from Sakura and Yakumo, but from the rest there was none. Sasuke, Sai, and Naruto weren't frightened by the idea of death. Yamato and Kakashi were both former EMBUs. I'm glad that you're doing something, Tazuna. It proves. Naruto was cut off when a small young boy walked in. The boy wore a green jumpsuit with a yellow shirt and a pair of sandals. He had a blue and white striped hat. If you don't stop, then you will all die. Inari. Tsunami scowled her son. It's true, if you all keep going against Gato, then you will all die. There's no hope for this land, yelled Inari. Everyone reminded quiet. Naruto was silently fuming inside, his grip on the bowl tightened. I really pity the man. To think that his own family, his son, would just kill his dream like that. Naruto scowled Yakumo. Naruto stood up and started walking to the door. One's will to fight on doesn't die when they die. Only when the people around them stop believing in it. My closest friend told me that. So, that's why I can't stand crybabies like you. Naruto opened the door. Where do you think you're going? Asked Yamato. You still need to recover. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to check on my sister, replied Naruto as he walked out. Inari ran up the stairs crying. Tsunami was going to go after him. When Kakashi spoke up, I'll go talk to him. Tsunami thanked Kakashi, and Kakashi went upstairs. Then Tazuna spoke up. That kite sure is something. The rest of Team 11 agreed, and Sakura. Though it was Sasuke who spoke up, Naruto sure is something. The things he has lived through and still be able to bounce back after each one. I doubt I would have been able to do the same. What are you talking about, Sasuke? Asked Sakura. Why would Naruto have such a hard life? I mean, he is the son of the 4th Hokage. Sasuke shook his head. It's not my place to say it, right, Yamato? Yakumo and Sai looked at their sensei a bit curious. What happened to Naruto? Yamato sighed. Yeah, you're right, Sasuke. Naruto hasn't had the easiest life, but not everyone's life is a simple one. Everyone at the table nodded at his response. They could each remember the hard times in their life. Kakashi with Inari. Inari was on the roof, looking up to the night sky, when he suddenly felt someone creep up on him. Turning around, he looks into his bedroom window. Seeing no one there, he turns around. Then suddenly he hears a voice to his right. "Yo!" Screamed Inari as he fell off the roof. Though before he got far, Kakashi caught him. "Hey there, didn't mean to scare you. Just came up to talk." Inari was put back down, but he didn't turn to Kakashi. "What do you want?" Kakashi sat down by the kid. "Don't let what Naruto said hurt you too much." Inari didn't respond, "But you should think about it." Inari turned to him. "Why?" "So, I can die like him. In front of everyone in the village." Kakashi looked at the kid. "I know it's tough when you see stuff like that, but you're not the only one who has suffered." Inari gave him a questioning look. "What do you mean?" "Well, don't tell Naruto I told you, but Naruto hasn't had an easy past. He wasn't liked by kids his age when he was younger. So, he didn't having many friends except one. One that took care of him, taught him almost everything he knows, helped him when he needed help, and most importantly, he was his friend. Naruto had to watch as this friend died in front of him, and he couldn't do anything about," explained Kakashi, "but he didn't let that stop him. He didn't let that stop him from being the ninja he always wanted to be. I remember as a small kid he would go around saying that he would be the best ninja this world would ever see. So, after his friend's death, he carried his will with him. That's why he couldn't handle seeing someone disrespecting one's wishes." "I think I understand," replied Inari as he looked back up to the sky. "Yeah." Kakashi smiled. "I'm glad you do, kid. So let's go back inside." "My name's Inari, by the way," said Inari. "Nice name, kid," replied Kakashi as they walked back inside. Naruto in the woods. Naruto was walking down the trail toward the small lake. Dumb brat. Naruto suddenly reached the end up the trail and was surprised to find a beautiful lake. Wow. Not too far off the side, he was able to spot his sister, Mito. He watched for a few minutes, as she was able to stay on the water's surface for a few seconds. Then she would sink to the bottom. As she was going to sink again, Naruto jumped to where she was and caught her hand. Mito looked up a little shocked to see Naruto. Naruto grabbed her and jumped to land. "It seems you're getting better, Mito." Mito sighed. "Not as good as everyone else." Naruto was a bit confused at his sister's attitude. "Are you all right? I'm quite surprised you haven't learned this trick before. Father was always training you." Mito looked away. "So what? You were always getting personal training with Shursui." Naruto was even more confused at his sister's attitude. "What's your problem? It's not like I didn't want to train with you. I wasn't allowed to because your highness needed all the help she could get." Naruto suddenly felt a sting on his face. He had just been slapped by his sister. "What's your problem?" "You're my problem. You just abandon our family like it's nothing. Then you go around making family with other people, letting that girl calling you big brother." "What happened to me?" asked Mito. Naruto couldn't believe it. Was she putting all the blame on him? "I abandoned our family." "Are you serious?" New Flash Mito, "I didn't abandon you. You abandoned me." "What are you talking about?" asked Mito. Naruto let out a crazy laugh. "You criticize me without even realizing you own mistakes? You're a bigger never mind that. Mito, I have always tried to make a relationship with you, but you always blew me. Well, you were the reason that no one liked me when I was a kid. Remember our 8th birthday?" Mito was cut off. "As for Haruka, why do you care so much? If you even put a finger on her." "Shut up, I know what I did in the past wasn't the best, but you are to blame too," retorted Mito. "What are you talking about?" asked Naruto. "Don't you remember when we were younger?" asked Mito. Naruto let out a crazy laugh. "You criticize me without even realizing you own mistakes? You're a bigger never mind that. Mito, I have always tried to make a relationship with you, but you always blew me. Well, you were the reason that no one liked me when I was a kid. Remember our 8th birthday?" Mito was cut off. "As for Haruka, why do you care so much? If you even put a finger on her." "Shut up, I know what I did in the past wasn't the best, but you are to blame too," retorted Mito. "What are you talking about?" asked Naruto. "Don't you remember when we were younger?" asked Mito. "Remember what exactly?" asked Naruto, not knowing what she was talking about. Flashback no Jutsu. Naruto and Mito, age 5. Two kids ran playfully through the park. It was a young boy and girl. The boy had wild, short, spiky red hair, though his eyes were blue as the ocean sea. 3 whiskers on each cheek. It made him look rather odd. He was wearing some blue shorts with an orange shirt with an Uzumaki crest in the middle. The girl was about the same height as boy, but she had long, beautiful blonde hair. She also had the same blue eyes as the boy, but she didn't have those 3 whisker marks on each cheek. She wore a green and white kimono with a leaf symbol in the middle. These kids were Naruto and Mito Namikaze, the children of the 4th Hokage. These 2 children were twins, but besides the bright blue eyes, they were total opposites. These 2 children raced across the park, playing a friendly game of tag. He can't catch me, Mito teased the redhead. Hey, it's not fair. You're much faster than me, exclaimed the blonde. Running around a tree, Naruto kept on the chase. Then suddenly Mito tripped over a branch and was about to fall face first. Naruto, seeing that her sister was in trouble, dashed back and caught her from underneath. You got to be careful, Mito. Mito looked down. I know that, but you always help me, big brother. Naruto sighed. Mito were practically the same age. I'm just older by a few minutes. Mito gave him a smile. So you're still older than me. So that makes you my big brother. Naruto gave her a smile. I guess so. Then when I become the best ninja ever, I'll have to protect you, Dadabayo. Mito crossed her arms. That won't matter. I'm gonna be a good ninja, that's what Daddy said. Naruto didn't show it, but he was fuming inside. Always her, why doesn't father ever tell me that? Not wanting to upset his sister. Let's go, Mito. Mom and Dad are probably waiting for us to go eat. Don't want to make Mother angry. Naruto grabbed her hand and started to run home. As they turned the corner, he saw something move in the corner of his eye. NBU? Why are they watching us? Wait, duh. Mito gave him a smirk. Mother never gets mad at me. Naruto let his smile drop, but since he was running in front of Mito, Mito didn't notice it. I guess I just like getting in trouble too much. You know how I like to pranking. Mito gave her brother a laugh. Yeah, it's always funny how you prank Daddy and Mommy. Just like the time you switched Mother's shampoo with blonde dye and Daddy's with red. Naruto turned around and let out a chuckle. Yeah, that was pretty funny, wasn't it? Mito suddenly stopped Naruto. Are you ever going to do that to me? Naruto shook his head. Of course not. Mito then gave a big grin. Yeah, that was hilarious. Could you teach me how to do that? I mean, you're so good at almost everything, but I always need help. Naruto gave her sister a smile. Yeah, sure, but some other time. All right. Mito nodded, and they both begun running home again. When they got home, they noticed their parents were waiting for them. Kushina was walking back furiously. Naruto, where were you guys? You were supposed to be here 20 minutes ago. You're the oldest, Naruto. You need to take more responsibility, or else you're not going to go to the park anymore. Mito was going to point out it was her fault when Naruto did instead. I'm sorry, Mom. It's just I lost track of time. Kushina was going to protest. When Minato came into the room, Kushina, don't get too serious about it. They're just kids. I mean, I'm surprised Naruto even showed up. Some kids aren't just good with keeping track of time. Mito was a little confused. What are they talking about? Naruto is very good with time. I mean, we were only late because of me. Kushina sighed. You're too soft with them, Minato. Though I have to agree Naruto really isn't the best with time. I guess he gets it from me. Naruto didn't say anything. He just waited for his parents to finish. So where are we going to eat? I was hoping they... Mito, honey, where do you want to eat? Asked Minato as he cut off Naruto. Mito hadn't noticed Naruto speak because she was too stuck in her thoughts. How about some barbecue? Of course, I've been wanting to go there for a while, exclaimed Kushina. Naruto tried to speak again, but I wanted to get some ramen. Naruto, we will get it next time. As well, ramen isn't the healthiest thing in the world, explained Minato. Naruto just gave them a fake smile. Okay. Mito cheered and went for the door. Minato and Kushina followed, leaving Naruto all by himself. I'm starting to see a pattern. Next time, Naruto. Next time, Naruto. When is that next time? Are you coming? Asked Mito as she peeked back in. Naruto just gave her a fake big grin. Sure thing, Dadabayo. Naruto heard his mom grunt, but he just ignored it. At Yakiniku Barbecue. The Namikaze family were pretty much done with their meals, except Mito. Kushina had told her to take her time, and that they would all wait. Naruto, of course, wasn't happy with all this, so first they take her place, and she is like the last one done? Naruto's face then took a big grin. I wonder if I can inspire her a little bit? Hey, Mito, chanted Naruto. Mito looked up from her bowl. Yes? Naruto chuckled a little. and then he threw some pepper into her face. Don't sneeze. Mito was surprised by the little prank and sneezed right into her food, haha. Naruto, exclaimed Kushina as she put her fist down. We're going home right now. Kushina, please calm down, asked Minato as he tried to calm Kushina. It isn't anything serious. We'll just order another plate. No, Naruto, we're going home right now. You and me are going to have a nice chat about your pranks, seethed Kushina as she grabbed him by the arm. Naruto just gave his mom a smile. So, you're going to pass some tips to your son? About time, Mom. Kushina froze in place when she heard a few snickers around the room. What? Well, Dad told me how you used to do this a lot when you were a kid, explained Naruto as innocently as he could. Kushina turned around and gave Minato a death look. What? Minato waved his hands in the air. Then he noticed Naruto was gone. Where did he go? Kushina looked down and noticed Naruto was gone. Why that rascal when I get my hands on him? Kushina then raced after Naruto. Mito just looked down to her plate, I thought. Flashback, no jutsu release. Though that was just the beginning. You were the one who pushed me away, and pranking wasn't the only way, spoke Mito as she recalled another memory. Naruto hadn't said anything, and just stood in silence. Flashback, no jutsu. Mito and Naruto, both 7 years old. Mito was furiously working on her kunai and shuriken throwing. She had finally managed to hit the target dead center 100% of the time, and boy was she proud. Her mother and father both were crazy proud of her, but the only one who hadn't said anything was her brother Naruto. She watched as he just watched from the window. Mito didn't understand why her brother couldn't practice too, but father said it was because she was a Jinchuriki, therefore needed special training. Daddy is always right though, but what if he isn't this time? Maybe I should teach him too. Mito, having stayed to practice more, saw how her brother had come out of the house.